I'm sitting here with Joe Zelek of the Joe Zelek Band. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, indeed. It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, pleased to have you. I look for common denominators. You know, off camera, we spoke of Start with Jamboree in the Hills. What an amazing opportunity to perform such a big festival. What do you feel about that?
It's been a game changer for me. I grew up just a couple hills over from that festival, and I went there as a fan with my buddies. You know, growing up, and we had a sort of a hit single happen in the region. Got invited to play on the main stage, and it's like beyond a dream come true. Like if I never do anything else for me in my home area, that's amazing. And I ended up writing got the idea to sort of write a theme song of sorts that sort of updated the traditions of the festival, described what the festival had become over the years, like as I grew up going there. And I wrote that with hopes of playing it on the main stage. Ended up recording it, gave it to the radio station up there before our first year there, and it just blew up, became a huge hit. The festival sort of uses it as a theme song now. It got us in a bunch of Walmarts, and this will be our, I think, 5th consecutive year on the main stage out there. So I can't tell you what that's meant to us. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny because I actually, when I look back over 20 years of playing myself, I think about the first time we played that stage, and I also think, if I'm remembering correct, that it was, for me, the same kind of a feeling. It was the first big, you know, where the crowd was big, they were rowdy. It was like I got a feeling of what a real country music festival could be, right?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how do you describe it? It's one of those things like you have to experience. Once you experience it, you're in the club, and you and I know. But for somebody else, it's like, I don't know what to say. It's like the Woodstock of country music. You just have to go there, you know.
and with now we're in a kind of an era of big monster festivals in all genres of music. I think that it's still quite an original, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think it was sort of the pioneer, you know, and I think it retains all of the energy and the quirky little traditions, like the squirt bottles and the guy that shows up every year with a casket full of beer. And it's just got these real signature things that all the festivals are great, but there's something when you're a 30-year-old festival, you've got some personality, you know, some grit, and it retains that, you know. Very cool.
Well said. Well tell me about having this sort of regional hit, and tell me a little bit about that song first of all.
Well, that was like 5 years ago, and it was a song called Homecoming King. It's just one of the first songs that I had written. I was a drummer in a band on Atlantic Records called The Gathering Field, and that's what I did sort of most of my music career. And then when that came to an end, those guys came off the road. They were a little older than me. I sort of decided to take a shot at this singer-songwriter thing, and I had a band. I was playing around Wheeling, West Virginia, and like everybody. And I recorded this song, and I gave it to a Clear Channel program director, fully expecting to never hear from him again. And a few months later, all my buddies are calling me. I'm getting emails. Hey, they're playing your song on the radio. Not only did they play it, it took off. It got requests and got some traction. And, you know, that was maybe 5 years ago or so. And it just, we've been able to build that step by step, you know, song by song in that Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania area to a self-sustaining little business. And I'm just, you know, I don't know. I try not to think about it too much. I try to keep it rolling. I'm just so thankful for it, you know.
That's awesome. Kind of got a Dave Grohl of country music here, come from the drums and a band signed to Atlantic. That's great, though. I really like to hear this. Well, let's bring it up to date with what's your current single. What are you working right now?
Well, we did a single. I just did a record, actually, I partnered with producer Joe West, who's originally from Pittsburgh. I worked with him in that band on Atlantic Records, and we both found our way to Nashville. He heard about what I had done in the meantime, and sort of got a production deal going with him. Joe has written some big hit songs for Keith Urban. He's got the new Keith Urban single, Without You, American Ride for Toby Keith. We partnered up, and we made a record. We took our first single to radio last summer. It was called Who You Gonna Run To? And we're just starting our second single that's called No Place Like Home. And I'm really excited about it. It's got, you know, where I grew up in Wheeling is very unique because you had the Capitol Music Hall on Main Street. You probably played there. WWVA 1170, Jamboree USA, a lot of tradition. Right down the street you had the Wheeling Civic Center.